I watched pretty much every single one of Caitlin's games early on because I am a fan. I do like good basketball. And of course, I wanted to see how she would do. Coming out of college and going into the WNBA, we as WNBA players were having basketball conversations, and everybody just took it to another place where we were attacking them as people.
In the most unexpected way, Sue Bird revealed the WNBA's covert strategy to eliminate Caitlin Clark from the beginning. No, this wasn't some oops, bad calls happen scenario. Rather, it was a full-fledged, pre-planned circus with technical fouls, racial undertones, and obvious targeting. Clark wasn't destined to endure this mess. Rather, it was a tactic devised by those who couldn't handle her stealing the spotlight.
And it actually, we talked about this before, like the fan that went hard at Caitlin at the Connecticut Sun game in game 1 or 2, I can't remember, where there was an interaction where the fan almost got ejected. It's like, none of this is okay. And we never accept it. We never accept this on the men's side.
Because jealousy and drama seemed to be the WNBA's new playbook, Kathy Angelbert and her group of referees knew exactly what they were doing. Why support a rising star when you can throw her under the bus for a little extra controversy and ticket sales? Well, thanks to Sue, the dirty laundry is out, and it doesn't look good.
Is it okay in our league? Why is it, welcome to mainstream?
And don't worry, Sue didn't reveal the WNBA out of genuine pity for Caitlin Clark. Let's face it, it was a glorious, inadvertent error. But who's complaining? We have the juicy details we've always suspected were simmering beneath the surface, and now everything makes sense, especially in light of Bird's recent, not-so-subtle remarks that, let's be honest, have done nothing but cast doubt on Caitlin Clark's record-breaking rookie season. You know, the one in which she practically set the league on fire with stats that most players could have imagined.
Was coming. This wasn't a surprise. And not just the comments that the commissioner made a few weeks ago, where she basically implied that the racial tension is good for business and invoking Magic and Bird.
However, Sue chose to dismiss that on her podcast, calling the league's success a team effort. Sure, Sue, teamwork makes the dream work and all that, but come on, don't act like Clark didn't just put the WNBA on the radar for a whole new wave of fans.
Television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it.
Critics were quick to notice the mood as well. Was Bird simply being philosophical, or was she subtly making fun of Clark? It sounded like an attempt to ruin the day of someone who has been breaking records and stealing the limelight without exerting any effort.
It's not good for business. It's never good for business. And sort of sidestep the question about racism and misogyny and hate that the players are receiving online, basically saying like, don't go on social media, or, it's sort of not.
After all, Clark's rise hasn't been subtle. It's been meteoric. She's accomplished in a year what some players never come close to in a decade. And let's be honest, for someone who's been around as long as Bird to see a rookie snatch up all the attention, there's a faint murmur that this might not just be some innocent commentary, jealous discomfort, tough love from a veteran, or something a little more personal. It may sting a little, but this is where things get really hot. The bigger question isn't just about Bird's remarks. It's about whether the WNBA leadership was secretly trying to prevent Clark from shining too bright. This could be a conspiracy theory, but let's talk about facts like the fact that Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation rookie, received her Rookie of the Year award over the phone during practice.
Not every, they're humans, looking at technology. Basketball is a little more complex than tennis, for instance, around technology of officiating. So we're looking at a variety of different dimensions.
Before a playoff game in Connecticut, there was no fanfare or celebration, just, oh, hey, congrats over the phone, like she was told her dry cleaning was ready. If that doesn't make it clear that we don't want to make a big deal out of you, I'm not sure what does. Then there's the officiating.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed a three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball.
Oh, the officiating. Recall that when Clark struck the backboard in rage after missing a shot, the referee deemed it disrespectful to the game. In contrast, Veterans like Diana Taurasi performed worse and received little more than a sidelong glance from the officials.
Carter nearly picks off the pass, and Diana Taurasi, they'll count the bucket.
It's as if they had one set of rules for Clark and another for everyone else. The double standard is so obvious that it could be surrounded by neon lights.
Coming out of college and going into the WNBA, we as WNBA players were having basketball conversations, and everybody just took it to another place where we were attacking them as people.
The indicators keep accumulating, and they present a picture that is not just concerning, but also irritating. Was the WNBA attempting to restrain Clark out of concern that her quick ascent may overshadow their meticulously planned narrative of collective growth, if that's the case, which is a decision as perplexing as it is self-defeating? Clark isn't a threat to the league. Rather, she's its greatest asset. She's attracting new fans, increasing ticket sales, boosting TV ratings, all the things the league sorely needs. But rather than honoring her, it seems like they're reluctant, almost afraid, to let her shine too brightly.
And that's, again, where that petty and jealousy live.
The worst part, though, is that Caitlin. The players are the brand. Without them, there would be no league, no audience, and no future. The leadership may believe that they are protecting the brand, but in reality, they are shooting themselves in the foot. The muted Rookie of the Year announcement, the dubious officiating, Bird's disparaging remarks, and all of this add up to a message that is as obvious as it is frustrating. Slow down, Caitlin Clark doesn't just rock the boat. She is the boat, whether they like it or not.
Thing I want to reset, that we want to reset, and it's the language being used around fans. Fever fans, Caitlin fans, new fans. That actually has to go. That has to go. I understand why at times it's been used. It's kind of just when you're in an interview and you get asked a question, it's kind of easy to go, oh, the fever fan base.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? That has to go.
Oh, these new fans. It has to go because it's not the fever fans. It's not Caitlin.
The most obvious and disastrous example of her obsession with rivalries as the league's golden ticket to relevance is how she framed Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese as the next big thing in basketball rivalries. Think Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird, but make it unnecessarily racial. Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA's commissioner, really knows how to stir things up, and not in a good way. Her leadership style is like that awkward relative who always says something embarrassing at family gatherings.
And when you have that, you have a lot of attention on you. There's no more apathy. Everybody cares. It is a little that Bird Magic moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rival.
Yes, during a CNBC Power lunch interview, Engelbert boldly pointed out that Clark is white and Reese is black. Doesn't that make sports exciting? If her goal was nostalgia, she hit the wrong nerve. Let's break this down. Fans and analysts immediately called her out for being tone deaf, accusing her of reducing two incredibly talented players to their skin colors rather than celebrating their skill. And here's the kicker. Both Clark and Reese have faced abhorrent racist attacks both online and at games.
White, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another. It's a balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players much more so than they were 5 years ago.
Naturally, criticism came in faster than a Clark three-pointer on their podcast, and Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe didn't hold back when accusing Angel Bird of prioritizing flashy marketing over player safety and mental well-being. Rapinoe essentially implied that racial tension is good for business, summarizing what everyone was already thinking. Bird also chimed in, pointing out that leadership seems more interested in making headlines than addressing real issues like the hostile environments players face on a daily basis.
WNBA's perspective. The WNBA in the league office and in Kathy's role specifically is basically to protect and shepherd the league, both from a business perspective, from a player welfare perspective, from a health and safety perspective, and from a growth and investment perspective. And this is where I feel like she's...
Not to mention, when confronted about players encountering hate speech and toxic rhetoric, Engelbert's brilliant solution was to advise them to avoid social media. This is a brilliant move, but it's so out of touch that it could double as a meme. Players deal with racism and misogyny on a daily basis, and Labor's response was essentially, "Have you tried logging off?"
I did not come out of college with the same level of popularity, scrutiny, all of it. Nobody has. Caitlyn is one of one. There's zero doubt about it.
However, the problems go beyond her racialized marketing blunders. Engelbert's entire leadership approach has been criticized for being more about optics than substance. Her fixation with rivalries may seem like a good idea in a marketing meeting, but in practice it reduces complex athletes into cheap narratives, and when those narratives lean on race, the damage is multiplied. Instead of showcasing Clark and Aryi as trailblazers for the league's future, Engelbert has turned them into symbols of
Continuing to impress and she's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years. Yeah. It's just going to be a constant record.
the fact that this strategy is encouraging fan. Instead of celebrating the growing popularity of the WNBA, War's Subbird added fuel to the fire with her remarks about toxic Caitlyn fans, accusing the influx of new supporters of clashing with the league's longtime community. Her remarks came across as dismissive, alienating fans rather than uniting them. Critics have noted how this narrative of fan toxicity only deepens divisions, turning what should be a moment of celebration into yet another point of contention.
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
The irony here is that the WNBA has long positioned itself as a progressive league that supports diversity, inclusion, and player voices. However, by leaning into racial narratives, she is undermining years of progress and fostering an environment that is both detrimental and counterproductive. In the end, both players and fans are questioning whether the league's leadership truly aligns with its purported values, and her obsession with rivalries and surface-level drama isn't just bad publicity. It is a breach of the values of the WNBA, and if she doesn't return her attention to what truly counts, protecting players, promoting togetherness, and celebrating, this so-called leadership's talent could lead the league down a path from which it may never fully recover.